Hello and welcome to a brief video tour for this Seiko Arctura Kinetic chronograph. This is the 7L22 movement. Very popular watch, this one, amongst collectors. This is the third one I've had. I'll tell you what you get in the box. You get an outer carton, a little tatty, and a non-original box, but this I would say dates from around about the 80s, but it sets it off quite nicely. The watch itself, and that is a new capacitor I've just fitted. So the one I've taken out of there was a Panasonic MT920, which would indicate this is it's now on its third capacitor. So if you allow for 7-8 years, it would indicate early 2000s for this watch. So brand new capacitor fitted as of today, the 3rd of December 2022. So all running very nicely. The last one I sold in this blue with the gold buttons and crown made over £260, but that was in its original box, and it was pretty much non-marked at all. So this one's priced a bit cheaper, although the other one didn't have a brand new capacitor. That was running fine, but this one's just had that, and they're not cheap. They're best part of 15 quid, and they take me about an hour and a half to do because it's a very fiddly, minute job. But anyway, this one's got the exhibition case back as well. They don't all come with that, but that one's got it. The band is on the relatively small side, so this one will fit around about 18 centimeters, maybe 18 and a half if you like to wear them a bit tight. But on my wrist, with the 3 micro adjust pins on the outer one, so on the longest extent, it's about a centimeter and a bit loose. So 18 and a half centimeters if you want to wear it, or you find yourself some other spare links. So in the blue dial with the gold hands and the gold applied Seiko logo, the sapphire crystal, and all the buttons are pretty good condition actually. They normally wear where they've been used a lot on the outer edges, but this one's all in pretty good order. Hopefully you can see that okay. It's had a good clean, so it's not full of muck and dead skin, etc., so it's nice and fresh. There is some markings. I mean, there's basically general wear and tear to the bracelet itself. You can see the clasp there. It is a milled under clasp, as you just saw, and the outer links are, I think, brushed, and the inner links are polished. It's just a straightforward, is it pin and collar or just pins? Can't remember, but it is it does require a little bit of pushing and pulling with pins, etc., to resize the bracelet, which you can do if you've got a smaller than 18 centimeter wrist. So the crystal's in spot on order. There's some markings to the body. That's probably about the worst one. It's not really a deep scratch, it's just a bit of wear to the finish. And then the bezel itself is marked obviously with hours right there. Is it hours or minutes? Minutes, that's it. So those minutes are quite faint. They never were very strong. So let's just run you through the functions. Basically, it's a chronograph, and you just press button A, which sets off the chronograph feature. So as you can see, it is more of a sweep than it is a tick, so it's probably about 1/20th of a second on that second hand, and then it's just straightforward stop, and then button B. I don't think it has a yeah, it's just stop and start, and then fly back on the button B. So the crown, non-screw down type, and then the time is told at the dial at the bottom, 6 o'clock type position, as you can see. There is some lume on the hands, on the hour, but it's going to be pretty dull by now, I should imagine. It's not really that sort of watch. Can't remember what the water resistance is. I'll try and quote it, but to be fair, now I've had the back off, it probably would be good to assume that it's not going to like water, as it's not been pressure tested or anything like that. So yeah, nice watch. They're relatively heavy and they wear quite big, quite a large lug to lug length. So they do wear quite a size, because the actual diameter of the dial represents not that much of a percentage of the watch itself, but more of a collector's piece. And what with the popularity of Seiko watches now coming up and prices also heading northwards with collector's pieces, this could be a nice watch just to have in your collection, or as a general wearer, because it's not a minter. But I'd give it a good 7.5 out of 10. That might be a bit on the pessimistic side. Some people might say it's not quite as bad as that, but anyway, we'll rate it as 7.5 out of 10. It's just really that it has been worn. Could even be an 8 out of 10, but anyway, we'll say that. So there it is. Quite a lump. What are we talking about? Probably about 150 grams, I would have thought, with a box for it to sit in and a new capacitor. So I think that'll all make a nice purchase. It doesn't quite fit in the box actually with the lid closed. Actually it does, yeah, that's firm. So it'll be packaged and transported, Royal Mail, first class, signed for, and it'll have some bubble wrap and all the usual for packaging. Anyway, that about does it. Thanks very much for watching. Bye bye.